Hello. Today's mindfulness meditation practice is around the theme of identifying self-judgment and bringing in self-compassion. And before we begin, make yourself comfortable and maybe take a moment to consider why you have chosen to come to practice at this time. What is your intention for this practice? Whatever your intention is. And how you actually feel about the topic of self-compassion, self-judgment. How they make you feel. Any thoughts or beliefs that you might have, stories that you've heard in relation to these issues that you might be holding on to. Bear in mind that many other people have the same feelings as you do in relation to this matter. Many millions of people, of the 7 billion people on the earth. Self-judgment and self-criticism can be very ingrained patterns in our lives, so much so that we don't even sometimes realize that it's going on, that we're judging ourselves. Many of us have had a lot of conditioning that negatively impacts on our thoughts in relation to ourselves, what we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. And many of us are starting to recognize the ways in which we talk to ourselves, or how often we treat ourselves with meanness and unkindness. How often the things that we say to ourselves are harsh, critical, judgmental, things that we would never say to somebody that we love or care about. So much like improving our physical health, it's important as well to be aware of the ways in which we're suffering as a result of our own self-judgment. And it's important as well not to start judging ourselves for judging ourselves. As Kristen Neff very nicely put it, we're not in the business of beating ourselves up for beating ourselves up in the vain hope that it'll stop us from beating ourselves up. We've been doing our best. The majority of people in the world are doing their best at any particular time. And self-compassion is a skill that must be practiced just like any other skill. Just like cooking, sewing, any other life skill that you might have. Patience. These are skills that can be learned and practiced, and we can work on it. So this meditation is to support us in identifying self-judgment and then bringing self-compassion to meet it. So of course it all starts with awareness, bringing our awareness to how we feel and to our inner life, to the inner landscape of our life. We know an awful lot more about what's going on in the outer landscape that surrounds our physical body than we do about what's going on. We pay more attention to the outside than we do to the inside. Spend a lot of time living in the head and not enough in here. So now allow your eyes to do whatever feels right for you, to do whatever you need to do to have the most awareness without being distracted by your surroundings. For some of us that means closing our eyes fully, and for others it means letting them be half open, softening our gaze and letting our point of focus rest towards the earth. perhaps a few feet in front of you. Just focusing down. Now tune into your breathing. Bring your awareness to the breath as it enters and leaves the body. This is to help you come into contact with how your body is feeling now and into contact with the present moment. The breath anchors us into the present because it is only ever happening now, not in the future, nor in the past. So just tuning in and noticing, where are you feeling your breath? Is it more in the chest area? In the throat? Around the nostrils? Where are you feeling your breath? If your breath feels a little shallow, what does it feel like to allow yourself to deepen your breath? Breathing right into the bottom of your lungs. Explore this gently, without any force or expectation. Are there any sensations or emotions that arise from doing this? By deepening or feeling your breath? Just note them, knowing that there's nothing to change or fix. All our emotions, all our sensations and experiences are welcome in this practice. If it feels good, allow your breath to deepen even further, right into your belly. Again, notice how your body responds to this. Notice if anything is coming into your consciousness that wasn't there before. If there are any thoughts coming up, just observe them. Note them as thoughts and allow them to dissolve. As you allow your body to be still and to rest, you might note that certain ideas or concepts are floating to the surface. You might notice messages like, "I don't know how to do this right," or "I can't stop thinking about whatever, breakfast." You might also notice emotions arising, which is very normal. When we slow down and are still, we create space for things to arise. It's like we're taking our feelings off mute, and now we can hear them. Conversely, you might feel nothing at all, which is equally normal. Many of us, once we start paying attention to what's happening in our minds and hearts, experience a sort of numbness. But feeling nothing is still feeling something. So if you feel nothing, just allow yourself to have that experience too, without judgment, but with compassion. Whatever it is that you're experiencing, see if you can just watch it and note whether there are any voices of self-blame, shame, criticism coming up. Maybe you're telling yourself that you should be feeling differently. Perhaps you're resisting this experience and telling yourself that you shouldn't be. Is there anxiety about the future? Or a sense that this is a waste of time and you should be getting things done? Whatever the critical voice is saying for now, you're just letting it speak. You're just tuning in the radio in your mind. If at any point this becomes too difficult, then rest back into your breath, or notice your connection with the earth beneath you. Do whatever you need to do to care for yourself. Once you're aware of what messages you're receiving from your brain, sink back into your body. Notice if there are any physical experiences that might be coming up. You might notice a tightness in your shoulders, a holding in your stomach, a fluttering, or a sense of numbness throughout. There might be something entirely different, of course. Whatever you're experiencing, just witness it. If our thoughts are like the part of the iceberg we can see above the water, our emotions are the much larger part beneath the surface. Often we first have to witness the thought before understanding that there is a larger emotion beneath the surface holding up that thought. Feelings that come up around self-criticism can be anything from anxiety to varying levels of fear, grief, or anger. See if you can notice and label what emotions are swirling around in your heart, your throat area, your stomach. Can you recognize any sensation that's related to self-judgment, suffering? That you are having a hard time with something? Struggling and suffering are part of the human experience. They're part of being a person who is alive. See if you can, just in this practice, let go of the thought that is above the surface and sink into your body, offering some compassion towards the emotions or feelings that you're having. You can try placing a hand over your heart or stomach or around your collarbone area, and then placing the other hand on top of the first. And just experience the warmth and the sensation of care and compassion that comes with touch. Your own touch, being gentle and compassionate to you, like you would be to somebody you love and care about. You can allow your breath to deepen again, breathing into that sense of care and concern. Can you say to that emotion, to the experience, it's okay? Can you allow it to be in your body while offering it some kindness? Can you also deliver the message to your whole being? It's okay. It's not your fault. You're doing your best. I'm here for you. Whatever feels right, whatever you might say to an upset child or pet, see what it feels like to say that to yourself, to the parts of yourself that are suffering. You can also try placing a hand on your cheek, both hands on your cheeks, or on your arm, gently stroking with care anywhere that feels right. We're all trying our best in life. And while thinking critical thoughts about ourselves or our actions can seem like a motivating thing to do, a kind of tough love thing to do, or a way to prevent us from getting hurt by sealing ourselves off, being critical and judgmental of ourselves actually causes more suffering. Paying attention to how we talk to ourselves can be a key to unlocking our patterns of thinking. Then, showing care and concern for the parts of us that are struggling can help us to positively transform the relationship we have with ourselves. Arguably, the most important relationship in our lives. The one that we have with our own selves. And the more often we practice this, the sooner we are able to recognize self-critical thoughts. Upon this recognition, we can remind ourselves that we are perfectly imperfect humans doing our best. And that no matter what, we are worthy of love, acceptance, and encouragement. So just take a few more loving, compassionate breaths into and out of your body. Reconnect now with the surface beneath you and thank yourself for taking care of yourself. And slowly, gently, open your eyes whenever you're ready. Namaste. This is a poem now called A Morning Offering by John O'Donoghue, from a book entitled To Bless the Space Between Us. I'm not doing that very well. To bless the space between us. It's a blessing for every possible occasion. And this is a morning offering. I bless the night that nourished my heart to set the ghosts of longing free into the flow and figure of dream that went to harvest from the dark bread for the hunger no one sees. All that is eternal in me welcomes the wonder of this day, the field of brightness it creates, offering time for each thing to arise and illuminate. I place on the altar of dawn the quiet loyalty of breath, the tent of thought where I shelter, waves of desire I am shore to, and all beauty drawn to the eye. May my mind come alive today to the invisible geography that invites me to new frontiers, to break the dead shell of yesterdays, to risk being disturbed and changed. May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for, and waste my heart on fear no more. Thank you. Namaste.